My name is Melvin from Daily Guide. I'm wondering if we could get an update on the progress of work on the 6 Medina footbridges, which were subject of protest recently. And then the remote control traffic light project you're talking about. How sustainable is this project going to be, one? And then two, how many of such traffic lights do you already have in the system? And which company, if I may know, is providing the traffic lights, and then the cost of the traffic lights that you're bringing in? Thank you.
My name is Daniel Nilate from Star FM, part of the EIB network. Honorable, I would want to take your plans for the Apel Wawase Road in the Ayensuano district of the Eastern region. That particular road links the Esuboy to Suhum stretch. What's happening is that the road is in a deplorable state. We know that the sick and the dead are being transported on motorbike because vehicles in the area have decided not to ply the stretch again. We also know that the contractor has abandoned work. What's your plan for it? I also heard you say one of your key challenge is finance. How do you intend to get finance to complete all the numerous projects that you have enumerated? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable. My name is Joshua with GH1 TV. Honorable, first question I would want to put across. Of course, the very first question has been asked already. That's the Adenta Medina footbridge. We just want to have an update as to how far that is. We understand by April this year, second quarter is supposed to be completed. Second question is, you made mention of some intervention programs, and I want to understand the Accra-Tema motorway. I mean, it doesn't have street lights. We understand some programs or some interventions have been made. We just want a clarity on that. When are we going to have these street lights installed, and how are they going to, I mean, the roadmap, how is it going to be like? And also, there's also the bit about the expansion of the motorway, Tema motorway. We have squatters who are dotted along the shoulders of these this particular stretch. I understand some intervention to take them away still, I mean, has proven futile. We just want to know about that as well. And also, my colleague did ask already. But also, you've mentioned, we just want to understand the budget allocation for this year's programs. I mean, the urban roads and feeder and all of that. If you can just take us through that a little bit, that would be very grateful. Thank you very much.
BRT lanes, what's happening to them? Have you abrogated them? Are you going to continue them? Because we are meant to understand that it was going to be used as urban transport for people from Kasua to Accra, Amasaman to Accra. Now the BRT buses are not on the road anymore. What has happened to the routes? And second question, we are meant to understand that Accra, Kumasi, Accra, Takoradi was going to be dualized. In fact, it was started under Kufuor's regime. And so far, there has been dilly-dallying of the whole project. I don't know what is happening. What has been the problem? Isn't discontinued? Are you going to restart? I don't know, because we don't see any construction going on there. And that's where I come from, so I'm very much interested. And then my last question, Honorable Minister, you don't touch on Odan Swedro route. It's very deplorable. Last, I think about 2 months ago, I went there, we couldn't use the road. It's very, very deplorable. What are you doing to it? Thank you very much.
You have asked very intelligent questions, and I will try to provide answers. I am here with my deputy ministers and my strong technical team. So they are also here to support me. So please be assured that you are going to receive adequate answers that you expect. Where I am short, they will come in to fill it up. Yes, somebody asked of the Medina footbridges. The action that we took was not sparked up by that unfortunate incident, the arrangement had been made already. Let me use this opportunity briefly to explain what happened. That section of the road, the length is about 5.6 kilometers. It was worked on by a Chinese company called China Water. They built the road, and they were expected to build the 6 footbridges. It was a whole project from Tetekwashi roundabout up to Manfi. That road project started during the time of President Kufuor. It was divided into, I think, 4 or 5 lots by different companies, including the Tetekwashi itself, the interchange. But from the roundabout, how do we call it? The Atomic Junction, from Atomic Junction to Pantan. That is the stretch I'm referring to, totaling 5.6 kilometers. That was undertaken by China Water. And that's where we have the footbridges, and there are 6 of them. The contractors abandoned site because of lack of payment. So we had to arrange to bring them back. We could not terminate the contract because it was contractual between the company and the employer. And the employer is the government of Ghana. They had performed their side of the bargain, the obligation, the contractual relationship. Government did not perform its side of it. So they abandoned site and even left the country. We had to work to bring them back. And China Water Corporation is the same company that was working on the Kwafu Chrome Apega dualization project. Now work has started on because we had arranged to bring the contractors back. And let me take this opportunity to explain it. They left because the government of Ghana was owing them 80 million Ghana cedis and 45 million United States dollars. And because the previous government was not paying, they abandoned site and left the country. We arranged under the current government to bring them back. And they had come back to resume work. The week that they were to resume work, the Friday following, the Friday preceding, that unfortunate knockdown happened. That is why within a very short time, you realize that contractors were able to mobilize to go back to site. And because we wanted to speed up the work, we took over the footbridges, of course, with their consent and concurrence. And we shared the 6 bridges among 6 contractors, local contractors, each contractor working on one simultaneously, just to finish the footbridges. Anybody who uses that stretch of the road will see the kind of work going on. We have estimated the cost. And His Excellency, the President, knowing the importance of the footbridges, of course, and all of us, we know the importance of those footbridges, the President directed that we should pay them the full cost so that it doesn't cause any delays. And I speak on authority as the sector minister, that in compliance with His Excellency the President's directive, all the 6 contractors working on the 6 footbridges have been paid the full cost to provide the steps and the ramps. The footbridges, the main body of the bridges are built. They are now providing the ramps and the steps. And I want to assure you that we monitor it closely. Our engineers are there and they visit the site regularly. A week ago, you saw me and my team, my deputy ministers, chief director, everybody, all of us, the agency heads, we were there, and we shall continue to monitor. And by April, I believe that the contractors will deliver completed projects for the use of our people, so that never again should we hear knockdown on that stretch of road, because we do not want to lose even a single life, either on that road or anywhere. And I am pleading as the sector minister on behalf of the president and the government that when they are provided, our people must use them. We have completed footbridges on the N1, so many of them, but cars are knocking down our people on daily basis. I am praying that our people will use footbridges anywhere provided in our country, because we need everybody alive. By April ending May, I want to assure you that the bridges will be provided. The remote traffic lights, yes, we are hoping that with the facility that is being put up, there should be a marked improvement on the traffic light situation at all sections and on the road, because it will be monitored, like I said in my presentation, from a controlled center, as is seen in developed countries. When you go to developed countries, you don't see traffic lights being off for two main reasons. Power is regular and consistent, and 2, because it's being controlled from a remote center. If it goes off, it's detected on a screen, and there should be a team on 24-hour service, day and night, so that they will rush there to go and rectify it. And that is what we want to do in our country. Yes, somebody asked about Ayensuano Road. It's true, you are right. And I even watch it on telly. I view it. I don't know, perhaps it was covered by you. I thank you very much. I always thank you, members of the press, when you bring this to our attention, because we cannot be everywhere. And when such things come to our attention, it's our duty to respond positively. If you did it, I salute you once again, and continue, all of you should continue to draw our attention. Whatever is not going well, put the pressure on us. If you are in government, there must be pressure on you to work, and we are prepared to work. You are not criticizing us. Bring whatever is not going well to our attention, and we are in public office to do things for public good. We have taken action on that road. You know, there are contractors in Ayensuano constituency. The MP for that place, Honorable Ayepe, even happens to be the chairman of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Roads and Transport. There are 2 contractors, if you know the constituency well, there are 2 contractors working there now, 2 strong contractors, Harry Bolt and somebody. They are working there now. So we have taken note of it, and we want to add that stretch of the road as a variation order so that the contractor will add it and rectify it. Trust me and look through my eyes, watch my lips, and take me on. And take me on if you don't see action on that road. I have directed the director of Federal Roads, and he is working on it. We have to go through a short process, but it will not be a procurement process because we are making it a variation order. The people of that place will smile very soon to put pressure on me and watch me and follow me, okay? The finances, yes, you know, resources of Ghana, resources of government, and perhaps resources of every government anywhere in the world is not unlimited. That is why we resort to bilateral means, multilateral means, donation. And Ghana, we want to try to improve ourselves, you know, as a policy of our government, Ghana beyond aid. It does not mean our government is against aid, but aid will be taken only where and when it is absolutely necessary. We must develop ourselves. We must pay our taxes. We must generate monies internally. We must stop all the leakages. People must be honest and pay our taxes and get the maximum from our own resources. And as President keeps on saying, the money is here. We have the money here. So we will continue to improve upon our revenue, internal revenue drive, as is being done by the finance minister, you know, doing everything possible to increase the revenue into the national kitty. So I want to assure you that we will do whatever it takes to get money to finance our projects. Somebody spoke about Accra Tema motorway. Yes, we have gone far. That project will be undertaken very soon. From tomorrow, or latest by Monday, we are going to publish for the invitation of proposals. We have shortlisted four companies. Am I right? 4 companies, and by next week, Monday, we are going to publish for these 4 companies to submit their proposal. You saw that, and it was announced by the information minister. One of my deputy ministers, Honorable Edomi, left us a short while ago. He has come back. You know, the way he's smiling, I'm sure he has come with good news. You know, he went to Jubilee House to take part in a discussion going on this motorway project. We are going to turn it into a 6-lane motorway, the entire 19.5 kilometers, and it's part of the Abidjan-Lagos highway. That's why we are making it 3 lanes, both sides, to be consistent with that project. And that project is going on steadily, and is a distance of about 1,028 kilometers, from Abidjan to Lagos, but 1,028 kilometers. But more than half of that project lies within the Kenyan corridor, from Elubo to Aflawo, a distance of about 578 kilometers. And the motorway will form part of it. And it's going to be a 3-lane. So very soon, people can drive from Abidjan through Ghana, Togo, Benin, place. That is going to be done. Let me add 2 related questions. Once I'm on the motorway, even though they were asked by different people. Somebody wanted to know why the street lights are off. It's true. It's a worrying situation. We have to improve safety on the motorway. But to provide street lights on the entire stretch of the motorway now, which is going to be very costly. We are thinking of it, to know what to do, but we will not sacrifice safety and security, because very soon, and all being well, by second quarter, the winner of the bid will organize and start work very soon. And the street lighting on the entire stretch is part of the project. When they finish the construction, they will construct and install, high-tech modern lighting system. So we are deciding and thinking through what to do during the interim to provide, some lighting which may not be part of the entire proposed project in some few months' time, or what should be done to improve safety and security, because security cannot be delayed even by 1 day. So we are trying to think of it. So something will be done. And the squatters, we are also trying to get rid of the squatters. But you see, we must do it, legitimately and in accordance with law. We can't act arbitrarily in getting rid of them. But it's important that we get rid of the squatters. We must even create the right of way for the contractor who is coming to commence works in some few months' time. So we are tackling it, and I want to assure you that we shall use legitimate legal means to get rid of the contractors. And whatever it takes, they will be moved. The Teshie Link, the contract on that road has been terminated, and it has been repackaged and re-awarded. The new contractor is mobilizing to site. They have started the mobilization to site, and I think work has started on that road, to make the road smooth and motorable. So within the next 1, 2, 3 weeks, you will see full action on that road. Oda Swedro Road, yes, it's being worked on. There is also a contractor there. If you come from Oda, you realize that even the bridge itself is having a problem. We are working on a detour road. So there's a contractor there. And up to Swedro is also being worked on. Accra Kumasi dualization and Accra Takoradi dualization both are on. Accra Takoradi is part of the PPP program, but we were doing 2, Accra Kumasi and the Motorway 1. I've told you Motorway 1 is nearing completion. The Accra Kumasi is on, Accra Takoradi is on. Accra Kumasi, it won't take too long. In course of the year, the contractor will come and start work. The Kwafu Chrome Apega session is on, and there is a contractor that is coming to work on the rest. And I want to assure the nation that within the first term of President Akufo-Addo's administration, Ghanaians will live to see rare action. We'll see the road between Accra and Kumasi. The BRT lanes are not under my ministry. The lanes have been done, but the buses to be used, are to be procured and provided by Ministry of Transport. But the lanes are there. They are not being used. I think, and I can tell you that Ministry of Transport, my colleague minister, is on top of it. He is arranging buses, and once the lanes have been constructed, government is working to bring in buses to undertake the projects. The question of budget, the budget allocation for our ministry, 1.29 billion. And my chief director is here, my finance director is here, and we can't go wrong. And road fund, we have 912.6 million, a total of 2.2 billion for this year. So we hope that things will go on.
Honorable, some commuters along the western corridor of the Accra-Kasua Road have expressed stressful worry over stressful long hours in traffic during prime times. Although we've seen that there are much roadworks being done on that stretch to ease this movement, but still during peak times when people are moving back from work to their homes, they experience this huge traffic. And this starts building up from the Obiche-Bilamte roundabout through Kaneshi First Light, Dansuman roundabout, Odoko, Sakama Junction, through to Malam Junction. So once these problems have been identified, what is the ministry doing? What is it planning to do in regards to solving this particular problem? And then can you describe the solution proposed to solve the current traffic jam between Obichebi and then Malam Junction? And what is the completion period for this project?
My name is Godwa Atamesa from Ghana News Agency. Honorable, I want to start my question by quoting, paraphrasing a statement you made in your presentation. It says, if you start any project and you don't see its completion, it is useless. And I'm referring to this statement because you made reference to the fact that government is owning contractors to the tune of 3.9 billion Ghana cedis. And some of the projects they started has stalled. And so I believe it will be prudent as a country to resolve it, to pay the contractors before we award new contracts. Meanwhile, new contracts are being awarded while we are owning contractors. Don't you think it will make more economic sense if those contracts are settled before we award new contracts?
My name is John Elliott. I write for the Finder newspaper. My colleague asked the question, but it seems it escaped the minister about how much is involved in the traffic light project and the companies in charge of the project, please.
My name is Blessed Sogan. I work with Class 91.3 FM. We do know that the Sino Hydro deal appears to be the largest financial plan for government in terms of supporting the major road projects that you have for the year. However, there are claims that the project is a rip-off. For instance, concerns have been raised that close to $300,000 is being used for pictures, which would be captured in the progress report. How then will the minister assure us that the taxpayers would be safeguarded in the award of the Sino Hydro deal? And in terms of coverage, what's the extent of coverage under the Sino-Hydro deal, how many roads, in terms of kilometer or percentage, how many roads will be covered out of the deal? The next point is not a question, it's just a follow-up on the traffic light situation. There seems to be a confusion as to which state institution is responsible for taking care of our traffic light situation, and so not just the traffic light, but also the street light situation. So do we go to the Road Safety Commission? Do we go to the local assembly or the highways? That's where the confusion normally comes. So I think when that is addressed, then we can find a perfect way forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Ernest Mino. I work with Joy News. Last year, we carried out some investigation. We put out a report, and we uncovered that the Ghana Bauxite Company was not paying us some monies, the state I mean. We lost to the tune of $90 million by way of penalties they evaded. The ministry told us that they were going to investigate this. I want to know what has become of this, what has been done. And Madam, if you just will allow me, there's an important question on financing.
Yes, I am Kwaku Ankuma Abrokwa, working with the Center for Transport Security Dialogue. I want to find out from Mr. Minister, this one is more of the legislation. The LI 2180 specifies clearly that the Okada and tricycle people, they are not supposed to be doing commercial operations. Will you consider advising the government to review the law to allow them to do the commercial operations? Because as of now, everybody knows that they do it. If you go to any town, district, you see them doing their operations. But because it is illegal, the police people and their relationship, they complain to people. For instance, we've been communicating with them. They complain to us that because of the law that says it is illegal, anytime the police arrest them, instead of taking them to the normal course, they take monies from them and it goes that way. Can you help in that direction?
Thank you very much. My name is Fred Duho, a freelance journalist. My question goes to the engineers. Maybe they can help us with this. I want to know, with the potholes on the motorway, anytime they do pass it, you realize that, the particular spot raises above the normal ground level. Is that the proper way of patching the potholes, where you see, you get to the particular spot and your vehicle have to bump, and sometimes it may take the steering from you? It's quite dangerous. And the whole, the Eastern Corridor Road, too, nothing has been heard about it. The whole capital town itself, because I'm from the Volta region, the whole town itself has no traffic traffic lights and street lights. I want the minister to do something about that. Thank you.
All right. My name is Fadi Dabusi. Honorable Minister, since you came to office, I never asked you a single question, so this is going to be in four tranches. Exception to the rule, please forgive me. You know, the financial handicap that you came to meet could have been largely due to imprudent financial handling by the previous, possibly, administration. Now, unfinished business of the past can be quite an albatross around our necks. There was this announcement of the $1 billion resurfacing of the Accra roads. Now, shortly prior to the elections, we did not see anything as far as the resurfacing was concerned. A little bit of Achimota, a little bit of Airport Residential, and then that was it. Where did that $1 billion vanish to? And that is something that I've always asked. Hopefully we'll have an answer to that. Now, is there any investigation into the alleged misappropriation of funds from previous regimes? The Eastern Corridor was practically untackled. How far with that? The high-tech state-of-the-art highways of the Western Corridor that turned out to be mud roads. How far are we in government's endeavor to right the wrongs of former government? And with regards to the city lights, no, it's just the last one. Okay. With the city lights, there is a misunderstanding sort of. There is a misunderstanding sort of as to who is in charge of the street lights within the city area.
A question concerning Accra, Kasua, And then Obechebe Lamte area. Yes, same person asked those two questions about congestion. You are right. I can confirm that your observation is right. It was anticipated that with the construction of the Kasua interchange, the traffic or the congestion situation either will be removed completely or would see significant improvement. In fact, the essence of building overheads, interchanges, is to ease congestion and to ensure free movement of vehicles. Because when you build interchanges and overheads and overpasses, and you ensure equitable and better distribution of vehicular movement, thereby easing congestion. But after the construction of the interchange, it cannot be said that so far as congestion goes, that problem is resolved. We know the traffic hold up on that stretch from Burumburam, traveling on that stretch of the road. It's a nightmare. It's a very stressful and painful experience for our people. I can assure you that engineers are doing a lot of work. We are doing a lot of studies, and what is being looked at is to improve the arterial roads, so that we can develop a number of how do you call it, bypasses, and to reduce the vehicular population on the main stretch. So it's being studied. It requires some engineering ingenuity, and I can assure you that my ministry abounds with excellent engineers, and they are trying alternatives. So we are not sleeping on that job. It's known to us, and it's our duty to ensure that we find engineering solution to it. On Obechebe,
that's the same.
Yeah.
Cost of traffic light project.
Yeah, and Obechebe Lamte circle, yes, we are aware of the problems there. Not only traffic hold-ups, even if it rains, the whole area floods because it's low-lying. A lot of work is done about it, and I can assure you that something will happen within this first quarter. Work has been done. A contractor, is in it. We have even had the first tranche of the funding. It's with us. It's in Ghana, about 35 million United States dollars. But we are considering about the overall design of the place, and salt will be cut any moment from now for work to start at Obechebe Lamte interchange. Somebody asked a question of stalled projects vis-a-vis new contracts. Yes, and I said in my speech that from January 2017, we came to meet so many projects across the nation stalled for lack of payment. We are trying to revive all of them and to work on them, because you repeated my statement, and I stand by it. Uncompleted project does not render any value to the people. So it's useless. If you start a project, you don't complete it, for it to be used. It's useless. So we are trying to complete all abandoned projects. And that is the directive given by His Excellency the President, not only to my ministry or to me alone. The President has directed all ministers in all ministries, particularly the infrastructure ministries, to ensure that we complete all projects abandoned or started by previous governments, whether from NDC or from MPP period. All projects uncompleted must be completed. But in the road sector, that does not mean that new contracts will not go on. There are emergencies, if nothing at all. Emergencies come up every day. And it cannot be said that because we have outstanding bills to settle, if there is an emergency in the road sector, we should not tackle it. Roads will continue to be awarded, but we do so with clear vision, proper project management, and we want to ensure that excuse me, as we pay for the outstanding debts, the new ones that are coming up will be managed, alongside. Cost of traffic lights, and the name of company. The company undertaking the traffic light project is called Aluvista Lambrado Dakar. Aluvista Lambrado Dakar. Dakar. And the cost of the construction is $3.5 million. Then somebody asked about who is responsible about traffic lights. The street lights, my ministry is not responsible for street lights. My ministry is responsible for traffic lights. Please, people must get it clear. My ministry is responsible for all traffic lights in the country. Street lights are the responsibility of Ministry of Energy and the local authorities. So that's the clear distinction. But that notwithstanding, through highways and urban roads and wherever we feel that we have to provide some lights to improve safety and security. We are in one country. We won't say that because energy hasn't come to this area, we will not do it. So if you see our bridge areas where we construct bridges and all that, and we build approaches to such facilities, we provide lighting to improve safety, to improve good vision, to improve security. So if we provide some lighting by highways or by urban roads, we do so to support safety and security. But really, street lighting is the responsibility of the Energy Ministry and the local authorities. Then Sano Hydro Phase 1, I said it in my speech, the total kilometrage that will be covered will be 442 kilometers. And we have the tranche of money available to it, and that is 646 million United States dollars, and it has gone through all the processes. Parliament approved of it, and the cash is flowing. So those projects are going to be supported. Phase 2, we are now working on it. I told you it's in the process, and it will take off around June. So I cannot tell you the total kilometrage, neither can I tell you the cost. But nearer the time, and you can call me at any time, even if I'm not privileged to be brought here again by my nephew, Minister for Information, and my niece, the Deputy Minister for Information. He told you he has commanded me to be here, So even if he has not commanded me to be here again, and we start the second phase, you can call me at any time. It's your job. You have the authority as a journalist to talk to and to question anybody holding public office. And if you are in public office, you can't refuse to answer questions from journalists once it's in public interest. So you can call me and I will give you the answer. The Okada thing is for Ministry of Transport, because that is transport. And I know my colleague minister is working on it. And what you said is true. You quoted the law, and it's true. You quoted the right law. And my colleague minister, Minister for Transport, is dealing with it. And I can assure you the appropriate steps will be taken. Somebody spoke about potholes. Yes, the engineers will tell you potholes, you are not supposed to have the, undulating nature of the road after patching potholes, because they should flush with the original road levels. And whenever that is done and it comes to their attention, at times they ask the contractors to go back to redo it. So I think the engineers will agree with you that potholes after patching should not render the use of the road either unmotorable or uncomfortable. So I think it's a good question. And you talk about we have street, we have traffic lights there, and the dualization you said is going on. The dualization is from Sokode to Ho. Like I told you, which stopped, but we have brought it back, and work is going on currently, and there's a contractor on it. Eastern Corridor, yes, we are tackling it with earnest, and greater portion of Eastern Corridor is even part of the Sanohadro facility. Okay, so it's also going on. And my brother, you asked about 3-4 questions. Yes, the asphalt overlay in Accra, some were done on some routes, and so far as my ministry is concerned, the information is not fully the way we hear it, and we keep on investigating, and there is an exercise to find out the overlays and the cost involved. And one thing that is being pursued by this government is to ensure that we have value for money, and that per kilometer cost of road, should, all things being equal, particularly with overlays, should be around the same figure. If it's the normal ordinary road, it could vary because of ground conditions of the road. So you may have disparities. But asphalt overlay, that one is an overlay. So on the average, it should be the same. So those areas, I think you have raised some issues, which are not before me for now. I will pursue, and I will contact you after here to check the information you have, and then I can use it. There was an exercise which my deputy minister was involved about. So
yeah, thank you very much, Minister. My very good friend, this issue of the Joy investigation that was conducted by Kwetinati. In fact, when the report was out, he had an opportunity to engage us at the ministry, and the director of Axle Load was present. I was present, Kwetinati himself, and the numbers that he put out in that documentary were challenged. So this
idea that so much dollars was going to waste was not, he had no proof, and in his, as far as he was concerned, he had a tip-off from somebody who worked in the company. But the information that he provided to us, and when we interrogated it, we couldn't reconcile that with what we are very much aware of. But of course, the Ghana bauxite situation is part of the reforms that are currently going on as far as the axle load stations are concerned across the country. And the ministry is taking steps to address that. The national security, after this report was aired, have taken over the site, and investigations into the alleged malpractice and irregularities in accounting as far as the axle loads are concerned is being looked into very seriously. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time. The Minister of Information will have a few words to share with us.
So you have a lot of information. As I was going through my list, over about 8 or 9 different subjects have been covered in this morning and afternoon's briefing. So we'll be looking forward to reading how you help the entire nation, reading and watching and listening to how you help the entire nation appreciate some of these issues. And if there are any follow-up,